I'm Lisa Frost, and you're about to watch the replay of a session that I recently facilitated for Integral Life called Discover Your Deepest Yes. Now, I know it's a replay, but I really want you to engage with it as though you are live with us. The reason being is there were 52 people there who were on a personal journey just like you are, who were interested in discovering their inner truth and discovering a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment just like you. I want you to take that energy and to feel yourself held by that container and to engage with the practice, the exercise, as though it were happening for you live right now. So that is the invitation that I am putting in front of you. I'm super excited that you're here. I'm going to touch back in with you at the end of the replay, so please stay tuned all the way to the end. Take good care, and I'll see you soon. Okay, it looks like this would be a popular topic. So hello, everybody. And if I didn't welcome you by name, please excuse me. I lost track somewhere along the line. Looks like we have about 35 people who have joined us so far, and that's fantastic. If you are currently a member of Integral Life, I want to say thank you for coming. And if you are not yet a member of Integral Life, if you're here for the first time to one of our practice sessions, I really want to thank you for showing up today. I hope that this is going to be something that you can take with you after today and will help to inform some things for you. And so my greatest intention today is that you walk away with greater clarity, a deeper sense of discovery of some things that are really important to you. And that's what I'm committing to delivering today. So my name is Lisa Frost. For those of you who don't know me, I am an integral master coach, and I also hold a master's in integral psychology. So I have been deep in the integral community and integral theory for quite some time. But my love really is in facilitating things like this. I really love to help people transform their lives. So that's what we are all about today. And there's a couple of ways that I like to run my sessions. There are some things that are important to me. So I'd like to share those very quickly. One is that I'm going to ask each of you to lean in. So there might be something that feels uncomfortable or awkward or anything else. I'm just going to ask you to lean into that. It's okay to feel those feelings, right? We all know that. And we know that those feelings pass too. So if it does feel that way, please just lean in. I'm also going to ask that we are all open to each other's perspectives and shares. We are all going to have a different experience through this. And I just want everyone to feel like what they're bringing into the room is completely okay. So that goes for you and for everybody else in the room. You will need a piece of paper and a pen for this practice. So if you don't have that, get it right now while we're still just welcoming people into the room. Okay, so we're going to start with a little centering exercise. So I'm going to ask you to, wherever you are, to just go ahead and close your eyes now. And if you're holding your pen, you don't need it for this moment. So you can go ahead and set that down. Allow yourself to just get comfortable in your chair. Maybe give it a little stretch so your body can feel like it can settle. And then close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And just allow yourself to relax. And give your body permission to be still. Give your body permission to be heavy and to sink into the chair that you're seated in. And allow yourself to just become aware of any sensations that are present in your body. And just let them be there. And notice any area where you feel tension. And send some breath to those places. And then become aware of the parts of your body that are already relaxed. And allow that relaxation to deepen and to spread. And then take another deep breath and exhale completely. And now give yourself permission to set aside any other activities and concerns that you may be carrying. And make a decision to be 100% present on this call today. And to take the next step in getting clear on creating a life that you love. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes and come back. Okay, good. So a few things that I actually want to talk about. So this session is called Discover Your Deepest Yes. So I want to talk about what I mean by your deepest yes. So deep within, at your very core, there's a voice of guiding wisdom that we all have access to. And when you clarify and attune to that place, and you gain access to that voice, first by listening to it and then learning how to speak from it and then learning how to act from it, you actually attune to something that I would call your authentic truth. And when that happens, what naturally begins to occur is that your heart and your body and your mind and your very soul are really all aligned toward acting in accordance with that deepest truth. And when we are aligned with that deepest truth on that level, our lives begin to transform pretty miraculously. So what I mean by that is that things like a deeper sense of meaning, a deeper sense of fulfillment, things like feeling like you're authentically expressing, all that stuff just becomes natural. It's no longer something that you're striving for or trying for in any way. It's just something that begins to happen. We begin to align with a sense of purpose that feels like it's actually guiding how we approach everything in our lives. And really all that's required, and I say all that's required because it sounds super simple. And yet for those of us who have been immersed in self-development for a long time, we know that it actually can be a little more complex than this. But to simplify it radically, all that's required is that we get clear on what we want at the deepest level. And then we remove or work through the things that are obstructing us from having that. So, so when I say remove the things that are obstructing us or are obstructing our view or vision of that truth, I'd love for you to drop into the chat if you have an idea of what some of those things might be. What could some of those things be that actually obscure our truth? If you have something, and welcome if you're just joining us. Yeah, our stories. Thank you, Tim. Actually, I'm going to put my glasses back on so I can read these. One second here. I'm having something going on with my lighting. Yep, familial conditioning. Totally. Control. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Melanie. Judgment of yourself and others. Anissa said, yep. Lori said self-doubt. Of course. Yes. Oh, yeah, Ken. Imposter syndrome, for sure. Yep. Rich. Fears, beliefs. Yep. What else do I see here? Confusion, inner critic. Yep. I don't know what Jan said here, but maybe their reactions. Let's see, what else do we have? Other people, maybe. Inner critic, for sure. I would say what we think that other people may be judging us for. Yeah. Unbalanced interiors and exteriors, mistaken identity. Yep, for sure. Thank you, Tamika. Brahman is real. Yep. Yeah, so there's all kinds. So shadow, right? Shadow. There's all kinds of things that actually obscure our ability to actually see that clarity in ourselves and to act from it. And that's the work, right? Like going through that and dealing with those things, that is the work. And that's the work that many of us are doing in our lives right now. And there may be some ways to do that in a much more streamlined fashion. And that is something that I am always looking for, because I do believe that there are certain keys to self-development. There are key practices that we can do, and there are key ways that we can work with our interiors that allow us to have better clarity and to actually align in our lives much faster, and to enact something that I would call a new way of being in our very lives. So, yeah, thank you for everyone who just put something in chat. I totally appreciate it. So I have another one for you, and I want to actually, because many of you already know what this feels like, so I want to get your words. So what do you think aligning with your truth feels like? Right? So probably all of you have felt this at some point in time or another. What does it feel like? Who can name it? Go ahead and pop something into chat if you feel like you can name something. Flow, yep. Centered, joyful, yeah. What else? I is gone, yeah. Harmonious and invigorating, love that, yes, yes. Light, yeah. Honest, coherence, integrated, one-pointed, joy, spirit-led, these are great. More than we space, certainty, yeah. Peacefulness, contribution, being more interested in being being awareness rather than ordinary mind, a deep sense of calling, clarity, empowered. Yeah, these are great. Exactly. What I would add to that is that there's a feeling of expansion rather than contraction, right? So when we feel expanded, we're aligned. There's an inner knowing that you're on track. For me, it feels like I'm saying yes all the way down, which is the reason why I call this your deepest yes. There's a natural motivation. There's a feeling like things, when there's something that is in alignment with your truth, it feels like it just lights you up, right? And I think that there's a childlike enthusiasm or exuberance that can also point to that, and a sense of certainty, like a sense of certainty. Somebody else said this, but it's like a knowing that things are just going to work out, right? So I think those are some of the ways, and if you're just joining, we're talking right now about what it feels like to be aligned with our truth. And you can actually see some of the answers that other people gave in the chat. Yeah, Glenn, natural motivation, childlike certainty. Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this then. What does not being aligned feel like? What does not being aligned feel like? Put it in the chat. Yep, confused, for sure. Frustrated, fearful, unfulfilled, lacking, uncertainty, incomplete. Yeah. Yeah. Works for only money, conventional system. Yep. Stressful, irritation. Let's see. Being in a fog, uncertainty, being trapped, unmotivated, sad. Control, hypervigilance, force. Yeah, having to be really in the will, right? Willing yourself through things. Yeah. World is beating you up, victim, fragmented doubt, disembodied, stuck, depression, ambivalent. Yeah, ambivalent. Anxious, keeping oneself in busyness, never having enough, constantly hijacked, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Yep, fragile. Yeah, exactly. And living in the past. And I think that we have so many answers here because we can all relate to what that feels like, right? We can all relate to moments where we felt this way. And there may be ways in which you're feeling some of these things right now. Which is going to be my guess of why you're here today, right? That there are some places in you that are actually feeling like this right now that actually could be more aligned with truth. Great. So what I'm going to do in a few minutes is lead us through an inner exercise where you're going to get to contact your inner truth and your inner wisdom. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes when we do that. And then I'm going to take you through a guided internal exercise similar to what we did at the beginning in the centering exercise a few minutes ago. And in the process of that, I'm going to ask you a series of questions to help you get clear answers and information. And so you're going to want to have a piece of paper and a pen for this. And the crucial thing to understand here is that in order to make changes in your life that are aligned with your deepest truth or your desires, that you actually have to tell yourself the truth about how things really are for you right now. We have to be willing to look at what is, right? Of not fighting reality. And then we can take a look at what we actually want. So this means allowing yourself to really hear and acknowledge your deepest feelings and thoughts about the conditions and circumstances of your life. And by getting quiet and then going inside, you actually get to bypass the usual surface patterns of thoughts, excuses, ways that we are in denial, expectations, and you get to actually connect with the truth of what you actually feel and know, right? That deep sense of knowing deep within yourself. So the key to getting quiet, the key to getting quiet is really to focus on your breath. So as we move through this internal process, I'm going to ask you to be tuning into your breath. You're not trying to get any answers here. Just be aware that answers from inside can show up in different ways. For you, they may show up as sentences or words or thoughts. They could show up as images. They might show up as feelings. All of that is totally okay. Just allow yourself to be open to the thoughts, the ideas, the pictures, even if it doesn't seem to initially make sense, and have an intent to see the deeper truth for yourself. Something that will take you closer to your unrealized goals. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do our internal process then. And again, if you've just joined, I have lost track. We have so many people here today, so I don't know if people have dropped off and come back on, or if I've just let new people in. So if you're just joining, we're going to do an internal process. We're going to get in touch with our deepest truth. You're going to need a paper and pen for this, and you're going to simply follow my instructions as we move through it. If there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead and begin to drop us in. So I'm going to ask that you go ahead and close your eyes. If you'd like to take yourself off of video for this part, you totally can. That's completely up to you. But go ahead and close your eyes and just take a deep breath. And then with each breath, just allow your body to relax and become still. And allow yourself to breathe easily, bringing your attention onto your breath. Noticing your inhales and your exhales. Use this noticing as a point of focus to bring your attention and awareness into the present moment. Let go of any other thoughts or concerns. Let it all just drift on by without becoming engaged in any of it. And then give yourself permission to access the wisdom from within you and to get clear, useful answers. And on your next breath,
Imagine you're sinking down inside of yourself to a place that is beyond your intellect, beyond your ideas of good, bad, right, wrong, beyond your excuses. And as you do, allow yourself to simply reflect on where you are right now in your life. We're going to look at the different areas of your life. And as we do, allow yourself to notice the conditions and circumstances of each of those areas. And as we go through them, I'll ask you to rate each on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 as the highest for how satisfied, fulfilled, and happy you are with each of those areas. And rather than thinking a lot about it, from this quiet place, just notice what your first reaction is when I mention each area. So take another breath and think about the area of your family and friends. And observe the thoughts and feelings you have as you view this area of your life. How much time do you spend with family and friends? What do you feel good about? Is everything in this area the way you want it? Now allow a rating from 1 to 10 to come to you, trusting that whatever number you get first is probably correct. And when you get that number, just write it down without trying to understand or justify it. And then take another breath, dropping back down. And now move to the area of work and career. How do you feel about your work, your job, or lack thereof? Notice how much time you spend in the area of work and career. Are you fulfilled, satisfied, excited, passionate? Are you doing what you want to be doing? Is this area the way you want it? Now, what number between 1 and 10 most represents your present level of satisfaction with the area of work and career? Write it down. And take another breath and drop back down. And now shift your attention to the area of your body and health. How content are you with this area of your life? What kind of time and attention do you give this area? What are your feelings about the condition of your body and how you feed and treat it? What about your health? Do you feel good? Are you healthy? Do you have the vitality that you want and need? Just notice what your level of satisfaction is in this area, and then give it a ranking on the 1 to 10 scale. And then take another breath and drop back in. And now look at the area of your primary relationship. Are you satisfied with this area of your life? How much time and energy do you devote to this area? Do you have an intimate relationship that's fulfilling, where you're happy, have good communication, and are growing together? Do you have enough sex and intimacy? Are you with a partner that you trust, respect, and love, who feels the same? So again, just rate your level of satisfaction with this area of primary relationship on a scale of 1 to 10. And then take a breath, dropping back in and going on to the area of money and finances. What kind of response does the area of money and finances inspire within you? How much positive attention do you give to this area? Do you have all the money you need now? Are you planning and saving for your future? Do you feel good about the way you handle and manage your money? Rate your satisfaction with the area of money and finances on a scale of 1 to 10. And then take another breath and drop back in. And move on to the area of home and daily environment. Is your daily environment and home nurturing, safe, and comfortable for you? How much time and energy do you put toward your home and surroundings? Do you love your home? Do you like the furnishings and decor? Do you feel good about your home when other people visit? So from 1 to 10, rate your current level of satisfaction with this area of your life. And then take a breath, drop back in, and consider the area of your spiritual development or your relationship with something larger than yourself. Are you satisfied with this area? How much time do you devote to it? Do you feel connected to some larger whole? Do you have a sense of somehow being supported and loved? Do you have a belief system that brings your life meaning and purpose? So from 1 to 10, what is your level of satisfaction in this area of your life? Again, just go with the first number that pops up for you. And then take a breath and drop back down. And now move to the area of enjoyment, fun, and relaxation. How do you feel about this part of your life? Do you take time to relax and enjoy leisure activities? What kind of hobbies, sports, or interests do you cultivate? How much do you travel, play, or do things that break from your day-to-day circumstances? Just notice what your level of satisfaction is in this area of fun and leisure on a scale of 1 to 10. And then take a breath and drop back down. And now take a moment to choose 3 areas that you'd like to dive deeper into. And just notice which ones you're drawn to. 3 areas of your life. If you'd like to float up and glance at your notes and circle the ones that pop out for you, you can do so now. These don't have to be the areas that you rated low. They can be any areas that you feel like you'd like to focus your time and energy. Is it the area of family and friends, work and career, body and health, primary relationship, money and finances, home and daily environment, spiritual development, or enjoyment, fun, and relaxation? Pick 3 that feel like they need your attention. And then close your eyes and float back down. And in the first area that you chose, ask yourself this. If this area of your life was a 10, if it was just how you've always dreamed it could be, what is one feeling that you would have that's missing for you right now? What is one feeling? And you can float up and write that feeling down. And float back down. And now, what's one thing that you could do in this area to have more of that feeling? What's one action or practice that you could begin right now or this week to bring more of that feeling that you're missing in this area? And just trust whatever comes up. Write it down. And float back down and take another breath. And now, looking at that second area that you identified, ask yourself, if this area of your life was a 10, if it was just how you've always wanted it and dreamed it could be, what is the one feeling that you would have? What is the one feeling you would have more of? And take a breath. And this time ask yourself, what's one thing you could do in this area that would give you more of that feeling? Whatever that feeling is. What is one action or practice that you could put into place that would give you more of that feeling in this area? Go ahead and write it down. Then take another breath and float back down. And now, in this last area of your life that you've identified as wanting to have something more in, as wanting to put more time and energy in, just take a deep breath and ask yourself, if this area were a 10 for you, if it was everything that you really want and desire it could be, even if you're not sure of what that looks like yet, but if it was a 10 for you, what is the feeling you would have more of? And write that down. And then take a breath, dropping back inside and asking, what is one action or practice that you could put into place in this area of your life that would give you more of that feeling? What's something that you could do now or within the next week that would allow you to access more of that feeling in this area? Then take another breath. Let all that go for right now. And imagine yourself a few days or weeks from now, and you've taken the actions that you've identified here. You've taken the actions needed to help raise your level of satisfaction in these areas. And now you're feeling more of the feelings that were missing for you, the feelings that you really want to be feeling here. Imagine looking around your life and just see how much more fulfilling it seems to you. How much more self-expressed are you? What's available to you that hasn't been available before? What new possibilities can you see for even more fulfillment and satisfaction? And just trust whatever's coming up and take some notes. And now take another breath and drop back down and just ask yourself, how much value could you attain from regularly accessing your inner wisdom and bringing your life into alignment with your values, deepest desires, and authentic truth? How could being supported in this way help propel you toward living a life that is extraordinary, purposeful, authentic, and fulfilling? Just notice what pops for you. And then breathe deeply again. And now ask yourself, what fear could stop you from committing to yourself in this way? What fear could stop you from committing to yourself in this way? Write it down. Then take another breath and ask yourself, What would you have to let go of to commit to yourself in this way? What belief or habit or thought or other form of resistance would you need to let go of in order to commit to yourself in this way? And just write it down. And take another breath, dropping back in, letting all of that be okay for now. Just breathe deeply. And thank yourself for connecting with and listening to your inner wisdom. Acknowledge what could be available to you if you make a practice of doing something like this on a regular basis and got the support you needed. And if you're willing to take the actions that you came up with during this exercise, make a commitment to yourself that you will do them. And then take another deep breath and imagine floating back up, bringing your attention back to your room and the chair where you sit. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. And so I'm going to invite each of you to put in the 3 feelings that came up for you. What are the 3 feelings that came up in this exercise that you want to experience more of? What are those feelings? Richard, love, love, and love. That's great. Love, connection, vitality, says David. Miriam, love, alignment. Yeah. Go ahead and just pop them in. Lori says vitality, settled. Melanie, freedom, authenticity, happiness. Patrick, well, I just lost it. So funny how everything just changes in a second. Patrick said elation, empowerment, and contentment. Beautiful. Cheryl, light and direction. Barbara, devotion, joy, centered, balanced. Tim, peace, aliveness, fullness. Josie, energy, security, joy. Anissa, confident, cherished, and proud. Sally Ann, zest, thriving, bliss. Tamika, being unstoppable and resilient. Mila, contentment, surrender, and presence. Adonis and Katerina, fulfillment. Tim, lack of hurry, less selfishness, less lonely. Tim, I'd be interested what the feelings are rather than less of anything. Something to just reflect on. Tatiana, being fully alive, joyful, deeply fulfilled. Jane, energy, worth, connection. Glenn, love, connectedness, and freedom. Jan, loved, cared for, and touch. Beautiful, beautiful. Ken, connecting, purposefulness, activated. Love that. Yeah. Yeah, these are beautiful. And actually you may end up seeing some of those that you'd like to take on as well. These are gorgeous. So it's interesting because what happens for us when we tap into our inner wisdom is we get a lot of information about actions we want to take, as you may have gotten, which we'll talk about in a moment. But we also get really clear indications of how we can feel more fulfilled. And these feelings are the feelings that you've captured here. Like these are the feelings that you're actually seeking more of in your life. And these can act as a North Star for you. So I'd love to invite you each to put in the actions that you got out of the practice. So what are the actions? You can pop all three in or just one, whatever works for you, but let's hear some of the actions, especially if you felt like you committed to it. You don't have to give us any context. You're just basically saying, I'm going to do this thing. What are the actions? Contemplation, sharing, moving. Nice. More involvement. Yep. Gym membership. Excellent. Yeah. What are the actions? What are you committing to? Yep. Phoning, texting family and friends. Regular. Sadhana. Try more, go more slow, setting a routine, changing the stories I'm telling, being creative, daily ballet bar, contact relationship coach or advisor. Yep, self-care, acceptance, gratitude, daily practice, honest communication, participation, play, caring for myself, focus, structure, discipline, more healthy orange, being present for my feelings, deep desires, and acting on them, writing a book. Wow. Letting go of self-doubt, dancing even 5 minutes, expressing myself, self-care, curiosity, feeling loved, connecting, Pilates 3 times per week, counseling, meditation, diet, and exercise. Yeah, these are great. These are great actions. Okay, so hang on one second here. I just want to check my time. Great, we are right on track. Oh, Jan wants to move. Ken is going to reach out to people who he knows that shares concerns and set up a gathering place. Oh, to explore ideas worth the effort. Lovely, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so I'd like to actually take some shares. And the first thing I'd like to ask you that you can share on, and for this, we're going to go ahead and let you take yourself off of mute when you want to share. So what I'll do is I'll have you each, if you do want to share, since we have so many people in the room and I don't want people talking over each other, if you can, at the very bottom of your screen, you'll see a place where it says reactions. You can raise your hand if you'd like to share, and then I'll call on you. So that is easy to find, reactions, raise your hand. And the first thing that I want to ask is, how was it for you accessing your inner wisdom in this way? And maybe you have a practice already of accessing your inner wisdom, and maybe you don't. So either way, what was your experience today? Oh, don't be shy. Who'd like to share? Yep. Okay, Jane, go ahead and unmute yourself.
I had an experience of warmth and a deep comfort and safety,
Nice.
Security.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love that. It reminds me of
peace.
Of peace.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like coming home to yourself.
Yeah, that warmth and sense of light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Being held.
Yeah, nice. Who else would like to share? What was your experience? Josie. Oh, I think I accidentally muted you, Josie, so you're going to have to unmute.
Hi, thank you very much for this exercise, because what I came to realize was that I have no idea of I couldn't find one action to feel more of a joy. You know, I want to feel joy and have fun, this enjoyment, fun, relaxation. But when it came to finding one action, specific action that I could do, I had no idea. So I might be onto something here, because if I don't know what to do, then I cannot feel it.
Somehow I muted myself. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So maybe there were other people who also struggled to get an action. Sit with that. Sit with what the action could be, and just be in an open inquiry with it. It may be that it wasn't ready to reveal itself quite yet, and that's okay. Sometimes our thinking can get in the way. And also, if we feel like we have difficulty accessing something in our lives now, sometimes that can get in the way too. So be an open question for this as you move forward in your week, and that will definitely help. And I'm going to also just suggest that allowing yourself to laugh more, just something that simple, allowing yourself to laugh more, finding places in your regular day where you can actually express yourself in that way may open something up. So thank you for sharing. Miriam, go ahead. Yeah, Miriam, go ahead and take yourself off mute.
I noticed that in terms of the action that I get to choose, and I was thinking about ready, able, and willing, and what parts of that were true for me. And was it a complaint that I really wanted to resolve right now or to work on? Or is it something that I'm really committed to? So that action was about being willing for me, being willing to take that on. Yeah. And one of them was no. So that was very interesting. No, not yet.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's one of the things that is really important, is we all get to choose all the way along. We know this about self-development too, right? It's like, sometimes things are in front of us that are really difficult. And we know that in order for us to move through that thing, we'd actually have to do a deep dive into something that we're not ready to face yet. And when that happens, we do get to choose. If we choose no, there'll be other opportunities in the future. And if we choose yes, then it is about actually saying yes and making that commitment, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like really clear. Whoa, big one.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yes, it was great.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have another question for you guys, and that is, well, first of all, let me just ask you this, because we had a couple of people mention something along this line. So was there anything that you got that didn't make sense to you? Was there anything that didn't make sense? If there was something, you can raise your hand and I'll call on you. Anything that didn't make sense that you'd like to share with the group? Harry, you've got something. Go ahead and take yourself off mute. We can't hear you, Harry, if you're talking.
Okay, how about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. The one thing that didn't really make that much sense to me was something that I have been really working on for years and years and years, and really thought I had kind of gotten really past it. And during this exercise, I realized that I haven't. And that is how much fear dominates my life. And I really thought I had tackled that. But from going through this exercise and realizing what is preventing me from doing the things that I need to do, from taking the actions that I need to take in order to get those feelings that I described, if they were a 10 in those three areas, I have to get over something that I thought I had gotten over. And it's just, that really confused me, because I feel now that something much deeper is going on that I'm not aware of. I still have a fear of judgment, a fear of what others will think about me, and a fear of loss of relationships, and loneliness, abandonment.
Yeah.
And that shocked me, because I really thought that I had worked through that over the years.
Yeah. Thank you, Harry. Yeah. I want to ask who else also feels like they have that fear still working in them. Because I'm going to guess Harry's not alone in this. So maybe you can just raise your hand like this on the screen and give Harry some love if you feel like you can relate to what he just said. Who else has got that fear of what other people think, of that judgment? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one. It's something that stays active in us for a very, very long time. And you know, the truth of it is that we are social creatures. And so we're always looking to our community for love, acceptance, approval. Even if we think that we've worked through it, there's going to be something. Yeah, Jan just says that feeling of being alone. It doesn't feel good to feel rejected. It doesn't feel good to feel like you are out there all on your own. And in fact, from a very primal instinct, we know that we can't survive all on our own. And so there is a very primal need for us to be accepted by others. And, and there are layers of that we work with throughout our lives. So I would allow yourself to rest in this as an invitation to do the next layer, and not get caught up in too many stories about why haven't I worked through this, and you know, I thought this was part of the past, right? Because it doesn't really help to do that. So really just allowing this to be an invitation for what's next for you. Thank you for sharing. Who else feels like they got an invitation that maybe was surprising? Maybe was something unexpected. Who'd like to share? Go ahead and raise your hand.
I'd like to share, Lisa, if I may.
Yeah, please.
It's very interesting because I've already made the commitment to this and said yes to it. And perhaps that is what freed me to get in touch with how much resistance I really have, and how deep it goes, and how I never think of myself as a cynical person. I really don't. It's just, it never feels part of my nature. And I felt maybe because I know that I'm so ready and so willing, that the trueness of how cynical that I am, that anything can really change, really, really came up very big time, and surprised me.
Yeah, thank you, Phyllis. Thank you. Yeah, I think that, you know, when we are doing this work to actually uncover what our deepest truth is, that some of the material that presents itself is surprising. And it may be deep forms of resistance. It may be that there's trauma that is still active in us that we think that we've worked through. It may be a variety of things that we didn't realize was still there, or still there to the extent that it is. And again, I'm going to request that we not make up a lot of stories about that, because it's not that helpful. That really what's happening when we're given that information is it's an invitation. It's an invitation to look at the next layer. It's an invitation to walk through that next gateway. And that's what it's about. Thank you. So we've got a few minutes here, and I am thinking that I would like to go one layer deeper. Who would like to do that with me? Are you guys thinking you'd like to go one layer deeper? All right, let's do that. Let's do that. So I'm going to ask you to take another deep breath and to drop back in. Allowing yourself to float back down, and getting in touch with that wisdom deep within you, tuning into your breath, relaxing your body, and setting an intention to easily and effortlessly hear your truth. And now bring to mind one of the areas that we just focused on. The one area that feels like you'd really like to put your time and energy there. And take another breath. And now I'd like you to really just allow yourself to see the circumstances of this area of your life. And focus for a moment on the things about it that are going great. Because I'm sure there are some things about this area that are going well. Even if it's that it's the area of work and career and you don't have a job, there's probably something in there that's going okay that you can be grateful for. Or even if it's the area of primary relationship and you're not in one, maybe it's that you've been able to focus on yourself during this period of time. So I want you to get clear on what you feel grateful for in this area of your life. And allow yourself to feel that sense of gratitude, not just to say internally that you're grateful for it. Allow yourself to feel the gratitude. And now, without slipping into negativity or judgment, take a moment to reflect on what isn't going well and how you aren't feeling that satisfied and what feels missing. Just acknowledging it, allowing yourself to see it without judgment, without getting attached to any stories about it. And now in this area, what would you like to experience instead? What do you want? What would feel satisfying, nourishing, fulfilling, and meaningful to you? Allow that information to bubble up from your inner wisdom. Allow it to be specific. And then make some notes about it. What would feel really good in this area of your life? What could it look like? Where would you be? What would you be doing? Who would be with you? what would you be experiencing? And then bring that to a close. And close your eyes again. And take a deep breath. And just reflect on what you just wrote. Acknowledge to yourself that this is what you really want. And take a moment to fully give yourself permission to have that desire. And now allow that desire to expand, magnify, and grow. And then take a deep breath and thank yourself for connecting with and listening to your inner wisdom. And then when you feel ready, you can allow yourself to gently float back up and open your eyes. And now what I'd love to hear from each of you on, if you want to pop it into the chat, is how did it feel to get in touch with that and to allow that desire to expand within you? How did it feel in your body? What emotions came up for you? Natural and easy, yeah. In tears, healing, freeing, nurturing, inspiring. Ecstatic like waves. Ah, beautiful. Yeah. Relaxation. Exciting, inspiring, courageous, excited, happy, hopeful. Mm-hmm. Got the main thing answered. Okay. Good. Hopeful about what you envisioned. Excellent. Tears and realization that you've taken a long time outside of your awareness. Yep, spacious. I love it. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you to do one more thing. And that is a sentence completion. And so here's the sentence. I would love to have everything I just envisioned. But, and now I want you to write down everything you think is in the way. All the thoughts, beliefs, feelings, fears. I'm going to give you one more minute. Just do a whole data dump. Anything that comes up, don't even question it, just write it down. And bring that to a close. Okay, so you've got a list in front of you. And that's the work, right? That's the work. So working through those beliefs, those behaviors, that resistance, that's the work. And so we talked about at the beginning that living your deepest yes, right? It's two movements. It's getting clear about what you want, getting clear, a clear connection to your inner and authentic truth. And then it's about working through the things that obscure you from that truth or from being able to enact that in your life, right? So I have something I'd like to share with you. I'm going to be running a group called Live Your Deepest Yes. And I'm going to take a small group of people who are interested in doing that work together. And we're going to work through the things, work through the resistance that's in the way of you enacting that in your life. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, if you feel like you'd like to do more of what we did today, of course, the practices themselves may be a little different than what we did today. But if you're interested in contacting that inner truth in a group environment and being guided through establishing that connection in a much deeper way, if you're interested in what it looks like to align with it and to actually take action from that place, then I'd like to invite you to take a look at the information about the group I'm running. And I'm going to put a link into the chat right now that allows you to learn more about it. So for any of you who want to learn more, I'd love to support you in that way. So hang on one second. Let me just pop that in there. And then I'm also going to pop into the chat a link. So there's 2 links in there. The second link is for feedback about this session today. I'd love to hear what you thought about this session. If you want to share what came up for you during this session, you can certainly do that. And yeah, I would just love to hear from you. The good, the bad, the ugly, anything you'd like to share with me. And I also want to invite you that if you have questions about the program that I'm running or about the session today, I think somebody just said, could you email me the links? I'm going to invite you to reach out to me personally. So my email address is if you hover over my picture, you'll see my email address there. Somebody is asking me, do non-members have to pay the membership to Integral Life for the program? No. Members do get 20% off, so that is worth saying. However, non-members can sign up too. Yes. Oh, thanks, Mila. That's my address. So if anybody wants to reach out to me with any personal questions, I'm available for that. And I'm also available if you want to reach out to me and get these links. Just send me a quick email and I'll send those out to you. But let me open up the room for any questions. And these could be questions about what I was just talking about the program, or they could be questions about what we just did. So anything is open. So who has a question? And if you do, you can just take yourself off mute. You don't have to raise your hand. Any questions? Okay. Any shares that you would like to actually presence inside of the group? Anything that you want to commit to at this point, out of what came out of today's practice?
I think I just feel committed to continuing the process I've been engaged with, and it feels like it's kind of allowing me to get some different perspectives and also drop in a little deeper.
That's awesome.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Tim. Any other reflections?
I want to commit to challenging and changing these beliefs that I've uncovered through this practice.
Excellent. Thank you, Jane.
I'll work on that.
Yeah, excellent. Anyone else have a question or a comment?
Hi, Lisa and everybody.
Hi, Michael.
Yeah, thank you for this. And just coming away from this with a sense of being more willing to take action and go into an edge that is not restricted by my sense of personal comfort or staying safe, and feeling a sense of that's really not a good trade for staying safe is not a good trade for what's possible in terms of being more creative. So thank you for that, and everybody else for their sharing. Inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that. Yeah, staying safe is not a good trade for what is possible. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Welcome back, and thank you so much for watching this replay. I hope that that internal exercise was really fruitful for you, and that even if you got something that was surprising or different than you expected, that you're able to integrate that in a way that allows you to, step into that invitation, step into that next layer of you. If this was appealing to you, I'm going to be doing some really deep work that extends off of this point. We're going to use this as kind of a diving board. You probably heard me talk a little bit about the Live Your Deepest Yes program. This is going to be a small group program where I'm going to take a handful of people through some really deep work over the course of 12 weeks. And we're going to dive into purpose. We're going to dive into creating a life that is far more fulfilling. And we're going to dive into your self-worth and your authentic expression. So if that is something that's calling to you, if it feels like right now is the time when you are ready to step into a deeper expression of yourself and really engage with your life in a truly different way than you have in the past, I would love to support you to do that. So I'm going to be offering this exclusively through Integral Life. The really nice part about that is it means that the cohort itself will be your peers and people who are really dedicated to their own personal growth and their evolution, which I think creates a very special place, a very special space, if you will. So you can find out more about that at integrallife.com. There's actually an icon right there on the front page where you'll see my face, and you can click on that for more information. There's a ton of information there. I want to invite you to please go take a look at it, see if this is something that you're ready to say yes to, and if it is, I would be delighted to guide you through that program. So thank you again for being here. And if you do need to get in touch with me, if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer those personally. My email address is lisa@lisafrost.net, lisa@lisafrost.net. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in a little card here too. So thank you again. Take good care of yourself and be well on your journey.